This is Science Max, Experiments at Large. Science Max!
Hey, welcome to Science Max, Experiments at Large. I'm Phil McCordick, and hold on a second, I'm just gonna change. Okay, that's better. Now, where were we? Oh, right. Let's go make a boat. So you know that some things float and some things sink, like rocks, or wood, or full water bottles and empty water bottles, or carrots, foam, waffles, screwdriver, playing cards, plasticine, tinfoil, potato, my watch. Wait, that wasn't supposed to go in there. So how do you make a boat? You make it out of something that floats, right? Well, most boats are actually made out of metal. Tinfoil is metal and, well, it sinks. But if you fold tinfoil into a boat shape, it floats. And boats don't only float themselves, but they can hold people and cargo. In fact, there's container ships crossing the ocean at this very moment that are holding thousands of tons of cargo, and they're all made of metal, which doesn't float, it sinks. So how do boats do it? Are they magic? No, of course not. Boats are science. And here, you can be science maximites. Get some tinfoil and cut it into the same size pieces and fold a couple different shapes of boats and see which one can hold the most weight before sinking. And now it's time to max it out.
But before we do, here's how you can fold your own tinfoil boat in less than 15 seconds. First, take a square piece of tinfoil, then fold it in half. Fold one corner down and the other corner down. Then open it up and ta-da, you're done. If you want instructions on how to fold a more complicated boat, go to our website.
I have a feeling I'm gonna need a few extra lab coats for this experiment. Like I was saying, let's max out the tinfoil boat and find out a little bit more about why boats float. Okay, well, I'm here at an indoor pool, which is not, I wasn't expecting to be in the pool just yet, but this is where we're gonna build our giant tinfoil boat, so why not? Who's Nia?
Phil, you're wet.
I thought I was gonna come in over there, but I came in on the water sled. I think I had the coordinates wrong. Anyway, this is Husnia, and she's from Let's Talk Science, which is all about science education, right?
Yes.
Just like us. So you're gonna help me max out the tinfoil boat. I think I dropped it in the water. Hold on. Whoa! Here, where? Here it is. The tinfoil boat. The tinfoil boat.
Phil, this is a boat?
Well, it looked a lot better before I came down the water slide, but that's the idea, and then we make it bigger. What do you think?
I don't think it's gonna work, Phil.
Oh, well, why not?
Tinfoil is very thin, and it might not hold the shape of the boat.
Well, I still think we should use tinfoil, though.
Why?
Well, because the small experiment was tinfoil, and I bought all of this tinfoil.
Then let's do it.
Tinfoil?
Tinfoil?
Okay, high five. I'll take the tinfoil, and you take that, and I'm gonna have to dry off at some point.
Welcome to Shipbuilding for Pirates. I'm Swubby, and I've built some of the finest pirate ships for some of the finest pirates this side of the Caribbean. And I can teach you to do the same. But first, you need to know your basics. Mass and volume. Let's start with volume! But not that kind of volume. Which of these two chests do you think has more volume? Right, this one here. Which of these two balloons do you think has more volume? Right, this one here. Volume is how much space something takes up. Which of these two chests has more volume? That's right, they're the same. But which of these two chests has more mass? which is heavier? Hard to tell, isn't it? But what if I told you that this one was empty and this one was full of treasure? Oh, loonies. Now, which one has more mass? That's right, this one. These two chests have the same volume, but this one has more mass. This chest has more volume than that one, but this one... My loonies! That chest does not have as much mass. Volume is how much space something takes up, and mass is how heavy something is. And when you look at them both together, you're looking at density. Join us next time on Shipbuilding for Pirates, and then we'll look at how volume, mass, and density work together to make something float. Oh, my precious, precious loonies. Are you all right, my pretties? They can't talk, so I'm not sure what they're saying.
So, Husni and I get to work constructing a large tinfoil boat. Our first design is just sort of a square, folded together out of a very large sheet of tinfoil. Simple, but can I ride in it?
There we go. A giant tinfoil boat, just my size. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
I don't know if it's gonna work. It's too thin.
You think it's too thin?
I feel like yes.
Well, what should we do?
Do you want to test it?
Let's test it. Okay, good idea. So here's the most important question. Do you want to test it or should I test it?
No, you test it.
All right, here we go. Putting it in. First test, does it float on its own? Yeah! Floats on its own, no problem. If I just get in very carefully, then it will work fine. See, if I'm careful about how I get in, no, it's fine. See, if I just get in like that.
Oh my! Phil, are you okay?
Wait a minute. It's sort of, no, that's just air. You know what went wrong? It wasn't boat-shaped. I think if we make it look more like a canoe, because canoes float, if we make it look like a canoe, it'll work great.
No, Phil. We need some support. If we add a couple of structures in between, then we add support to it.
I'll tell you what, let's make a boat like I want to make and a boat like you want to make, and we'll see whose is the best.
That's a good idea. Okay, let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome back to Shipbuilding for Pirates. I'm Swubby, and now we know what volume means, what mass means, and that together it can tell you something's density. Now let's find out why things float. Let's say we're out to sea and my treasure chest gets swept overboard. Oh no! But it's all right. It floats because it pushes enough water out of the way, displaces it to carry its mass. But what if my treasure chest had more treasure in it? Well, we're giving it more mass, but not more volume. Too much mass and not enough volume, and it will sink. Oh no, my loonies! You need more volume if you want to float more mass. And that is why things float. I'm Swubby, and thanks for joining me on Shipbuilding for Pirates.
So, the first version of the tinfoil boat didn't work out too well.
Like that.
But my idea is to build a tinfoil boat more like a canoe to see if a different shape makes any difference.
Tinfoil canoe!
Very Canadian.
Very Canadian. The canoe part, anyway. I don't know about the tinfoil part. So, Husni and I had a bit of a disagreement of why the last boat didn't work. I thought it was because it wasn't shaped enough like a boat, so this one looks like a canoe.
What I thought is that it requires some structure.
Structure so that it wouldn't fold together.
That's right.
And we'll see how it goes.
All right.
All right, here we go. Did it work?
Nope.
Okay, your idea next. Did you know it's easier to float in salt water, like in the ocean, than it is in fresh water, like a lake or a pool? That's because not all liquids are created equal. They have different densities. This is fresh water, or it doesn't have anything in it. And this is sugar. If I was to put 1 scoop of sugar in this water, and stir it around until it dissolves. Now, this liquid is more dense than before I put the sugar in. Here's an experiment you can do at home using liquid density. This glass just has regular water with yellow food coloring in it. This glass, green food coloring and half a cup of sugar in it. This one has a full cup of sugar in it, and this one has 2 cups of sugar in it. Now, when you do this at home, you'll definitely want an adult to help you because you have to heat the water if you want to dissolve that much sugar in 1 glass of water. I'm gonna put them all in 1 container. You can do this at home, and when you do, I suggest you use a very small container because you have to be very careful when you put the layers in. You can use a turkey baster or a straw. When you put your finger on top, the air pressure will hold the liquid in and you can just drop it in. But these kind of take some time, so I'm going to use the syringe of science. I'm gonna use the most dense liquid first because that's the one that's gonna want to be on the bottom. I carefully put it on the bottom of the container. The next layer, be very careful, and you'll see that the red and the blue aren't mixing because they have different densities. The blue is heavier than the red. We'll add the green, and you can see even when it drips into the red, it comes back up to the top because the green liquid isn't as dense as the red liquid, and the denser liquids push the lighter liquid up. And now we're gonna add the yellow, which of course has no sugar in it at all. And there you go. All the layers stay separate. If you put it on a light, you can really see it. Liquid densities. Now, let's max it out.
Ta-da! The longest length of liquid layers. 12 liquids all organized by density. Starting from the bottom, we have honey, corn syrup, chocolate syrup, maple syrup, dish soap, whole milk, water, dyed blue, vegetable oil, extra virgin olive oil, rubbing alcohol, baby oil, and lamp oil. Liquid density. I really want to mix it up, but it took me a long time to make this, so I'm not going to.
Our first 2 attempts at a tinfoil boat haven't gone so well. Husnia's idea is to make a tinfoil boat and add some more structure, because the tinfoil just wants to collapse when I get in it. So we start with a large piece of cardboard on the bottom, then we wrap the tinfoil around it and shape it into a boat. After that, we add some supports across the top to stop it from folding in when we add my weight to it.
This boat feels a lot stronger than the one I was just in.
I told you.
So how does all of this work?
So we got some support using broomsticks and then some cardboard paper. And then underneath, we have cardboard.
And so how will all of this help the boat not sink with me in it?
Right. The broomsticks will prevent it from folding this way and you won't sink.
Good.
The cardboard will prevent it from folding this way and you won't sink again.
Not sinking is my favorite thing to do in the tinfoil boat. All right, so let's try it.
Let's do
now,
it.
Are you gonna get in this one?
I'll tell you what, Phil. If you get in and you don't sink, I'll go after you.
Deal.
All right.
All right, here we go. It's sort of working. Oh no, water's coming in. It's sort of working.
It's almost working.
Coming in. Uh-oh.
Wow.
No, no.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3, go.
Another thing I learned is that a very light tinfoil boat can be very heavy when it's full of water.
I don't know if fixing it is in the cards. I think we're gonna have to build another boat. So what do you think we should do?
Let's add more structure.
More structure.
Oh, yeah.
What if we add like a metal rod around the outside and maybe some more metal rods and ribs, and we wrap it all in tinfoil, and you think it'll work?
Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a try.
Don't worry about it. I got this.
No, I get it. I'll get it.
Sure?
Oh! No, I'm serious. You may have a little brother or sister at home, which means you probably know where you can find some diapers. But there are two things you need to remember. First, ask an adult if you can use the diapers for your experiment. And two, only use unused diapers, okay? Okay. So, you take the diaper, and if you cut it, be very careful, maybe get an adult to help you, over some black construction paper, like I have here, and you shake the diaper over the construction paper, you'll see that there's a little powder that comes out. And this is the secret ingredient. This is super absorbent gel. And what it does is it soaks up all the liquid, and diapers are full of them. And you carefully pour it into a plastic cup, like that. Now you can see I have already done it with a number of diapers. It's important to use a plastic cup because it's a little messy, although it's non-toxic, it's totally safe, but it's still easier to clean up by just throwing the cup away. Now, add some water, and what happens is this super absorbent gel absorbs the water and turns very quickly into a paste. Look at that. Now, let's max it out. 5 kilograms of super absorbent gel, 500 liters of water. Now, it is time to do science! And I have my own stir stick. Yep, definitely coming along. I'm not exactly sure if we're getting anything on this camera, but I want to make sure it's recording. Yep, it's recording. There we go. It is definitely turning solid. Well, there you go. The giant super absorbent gel experiment. Corey, Trevor, I need some help getting out. How many outfits have I been through in this episode? How many outfits have I been through in this episode? Anybody have a towel? There you go. Thanks, buddy. That's great.
Husnia's idea of adding structure to the tinfoil boat was definitely right. We just needed to go further. So we did it again. This time, we made a much larger boat. We started with a sheet of cardboard, then wrapped the tinfoil around and added some metal supports taped to the cardboard across the boat this way to make ribs, as well as some other supporting pieces in the front and the back. Then another metal rod all the way around the top, and finally, supports across the middle.
All right, feel how strong it is. I'm really excited about this version of the tinfoil boat. What we did is we used thwarts, big hard pieces of wood that we did last time, but this time we have ribs.
Ribs, right, which are made of a cardboard, a metal rod attached to it,
and shaped, and we did a whole bunch of them that go the whole length of the boat. And then we used all of this bendable metal, and we have one that runs all the way around the gunnels, and a whole bunch that run down the inside, and we even used bike fenders at the front and the back of the boat to give it super rigidity so that it hopefully won't go like all the other boats have done so far. Are you ready, Husnia?
let's do this.
1, 2, 3, lift. All right, I'm gonna get over. It floats, but that doesn't tell us anything because they've all floated at this point. It's only when I get into it. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey! Hey, it works! All right.
Oh, it's working.
Ha 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 ha! Look at that! It works perfectly. The tinfoil boat experiment has been done. Science Max, experiments at large. What do you think, Husnia?
The only reason I got into this boat because I knew it's gonna work.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you knew you would never get wet?
See, I don't think that's fair. I think it's time that you got wet. I think we should go. I think you and I should just get wet right now. Just need
Someone help.
You're still dry, aren't you?
Okay.
That is so unfair.
Greetings, Science Maximites. Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil, and today we're going to be looking at the power of magnets. You see, magnets are fun things to experiment with because they are really, they're really interesting. This magnet that I've got here is a neodymium magnet, or a rare earth magnet. It's one of the strongest magnets you can get. A magnet is an object that is attracted to anything that is ferromagnetic, which is iron, nickel, or cobalt. And magnets are interesting because they have two sides. There are two poles. I'd show you, but I can't get the chain off. Hold on one second. Ha-ha. There are two. Oh, no. There are two poles to every magnet, just like the Earth. There is a North Pole and a South Pole. That's right, the Earth is a giant magnet. So, if you take kitchen magnets, you'll find that there's two different poles. I've written north and south on these ones. They don't normally come like that. If you put the north and the south together, they stick. But if you put the north and north or south and south together, they repel. They repel, see? They don't want to go together at all. And you can force them together if you want, but if you do, they will spring away the second you let them go. But when magnets repel each other, I find that some of the most interesting stuff. Check this out. This is just a small container, and I've got a magnet in here, and I have a loonie attached to it so that it fits nicely in the container like that. For the top, I've attached two magnets together, and I have another coin on it. And if you put them in there, I've made sure that the two poles repel each other, which means this magnet will just sit there and float. Magnetic levitation. Very interesting. And you can pop the top on that if you want and just carry around a levitating magnet. Now, there's a couple fancier ways you can levitate stuff with magnets. This is just a wooden frame I've made. This is completely not necessary. You can use just about anything in your house. A desk lamp works really well. The important part is I've tied a magnet to the end of this arm here, and this is a bolt, which is attracted to the magnet, but it's got a thread tied to it, so it can't get there. Just far enough that it will actually hang in mid-air. Look at that. It's not attached to anything. It's just being pulled up by the attraction from the magnet. The thing is, as soon as you pull the bolt away far enough, it will lose the attraction and it'll just fall. Very cool. Here's one that's a little bit more complicated, but is also really neat. This one uses disc magnets, which have a circle or a hole in the middle of them here. And you put two around a pencil and then four more in such a position that you can put the pencil against this wood on the side and it will just levitate on its own. You can even give it a spin. Look at that.
And if you want to make the levitating pencil yourself, there's step-by-step instructions on how to build an easy-peasy version on our website.
Meantime, we are gonna max this out. Magnetic levitation on Science Max Experiments at Large. But you're probably thinking, what are we going to levitate? Well, we're going to levitate me. At least, that's the plan. That's why I'm going to the Center for Skills Development and Training. Come on.
Okay, who turned out the lights? Ow, what was that? Why is this room so small? And only going down to waist level. This is the weirdest room I've ever been in.
Where am I? What's going on?
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Phil.
This is Matt. He's from Jobmaster Magnets. Now, you guys use lots of big magnets, right?
That's right, we do.
Awesome. So maybe you could help me max out this.
Wow. You did a great job of building the levitating pencil experiment.
Yeah, so what's going on here exactly?
Well, all magnets have at least a north and a south pole.
Right.
And when you put like poles together, they want to repel.
Oh, okay. So have you ever levitated a person?
Not yet.
Well, let's do it.
All right,
Do you think we can use these?
we can try.
Okay, well, put that one on the ground. And, okay, so north, and I'll put the north one on my foot here. And then if I just step, oh, wait a minute. If I step, stop moving. If I step on the, okay, well, first of all, this magnet keeps sort of moving
Right.
away from me when I try to push down on it. What do we do? How do we fix this?
Well, we need to keep the magnets in position so that they don't move around when you try to bring them together.
Yeah, because I have to come straight down on it, don't
That's
I?
right.
So why don't we attach this one to the floor,
Good idea.
and then we'll put a board on this one, and we'll see how it goes.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
This is a magnet. This is a magnet. This is a magnet. This is a shoe. What's the difference? To know that, you have to know your magnets. This is a donut. It does not stick to this magnet. This is a spoon. It sticks to this magnet. These paper clips stick to this magnet. This shoe does not. So what is attracted to magnets? Only things that are ferromagnetic. Here's the difference. Horseshoe, horseshoe magnet. This one is a magnet. This one is not. But the horseshoe sticks to the horseshoe magnet because this one's a magnet and this one is ferromagnetic. Only things that are ferromagnetic are attracted to magnets. Things that are not attracted to magnets, they're not ferromagnetic. Plastic, banana, mitten, sandwich, magazine. No, but how do you know? Do you go around the world sticking a magnet to every single thing one at a time? Hey, Ma, I need you to come over. I need to see if you're ferromagnetic. No, ferromagnetic. No, you don't need to do that. First of all, only metals are ferromagnetic. So that eliminates all your clothing, your luncheon meats, your magazines, what have you. Everything that's non-metal, you don't need to worry about. Never mind, Ma, it doesn't matter. But this clock is metal. It doesn't stick. Well, not all metals are ferromagnetic. Mainly just the ones with iron, nickel, or cobalt. And there you have it. Now you know your magnets. I hit the phone on the magnet there. Okay, can you hear me, Ma? Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone, Ma.
My first attempt at levitating had the magnets sliding all over. So the plan is to take the bottom magnet and attach it to a big wooden board so it won't go anywhere. Then attach another plank to the top magnet to make it a little easier to stand on.
Okay, is definitely attached to the floor. Thank you. All right, now, if I just get this lined up, oh, look at that. It could totally, oh, wait a minute. Totally, it doesn't want to stay put. Oh, wait a minute. They levitate. Come on, levitate. Why doesn't it want to stay? It just doesn't. Should I stand on it? Okay, I'll stand on it. Here we go. And am I levitating?
No.
No. So why isn't this working?
Well, just like your pencil experiment, we need a shaft through the center to hold the magnets in position.
Oh yeah, maybe we could use like a ring magnet.
Yes.
That like we used with the pencil.
Right.
And
And we're gonna need stronger magnets.
we're gonna need stronger magnets. Are the ring magnets strong?
Yes, they can be.
Awesome. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Now it's time for a Science Max quiz. Which one of these things do we have magnetism to thank for? Birds flying south in the winter, music, or or a sandwich? If you picked A, you're right. Some birds migrate in the spring and fall using the Earth's magnetic field. Many animals can sense the Earth's magnetic field and use it to navigate. Migrating birds fly hundreds or thousands of kilometers north or south when they migrate in the spring and fall. A compass works the same way, by using magnetism to point to the Earth's magnetic North Pole. But if you picked B, music, you're right! Here's some music. The way you're hearing this music is because the musicians recorded their instruments using microphones, which use magnets. And then the signal was translated by a computer and stored on its hard drive, which uses magnets. Then it was broadcast to your TV and comes out your speakers, which use, you guessed it, magnets. And for those of you who said you have magnetism to thank for your sandwich, haha, well, you're right. You see, you'd probably go to the kitchen to make that sandwich, right? Well, I'm guessing you got all of the tasty ingredients from your refrigerator? Well, it works on electricity, which is produced by magnets. And then there's an electric motor in the fridge that circulates the air and keeps it cool. And guess what? Magnets. And finally, the door on your fridge stays closed because the door has magnets. So there you go. You can thank magnetism for birds flying south, music, and your sandwich. It just goes to show, when you're talking about magnets, everybody wins because magnets are everywhere. This has been a Science Max quiz.
Here's an experiment you can do with a bag of water. Take a sharpened pencil and carefully push it through the bag. If you do it carefully, it won't spill. The reason this works is because the bag is made of polymers, long stretchy chains of molecules, and also because the pressure of the water against the pencil prevents any water from spilling out. Now, we're gonna max it out. This is a very large bag of water, and here I have some very large pencils. You ready? Oh. That's one. That's two. Here we go. Should I go from the bottom? Ta-da! Science! Okay. I know what you want. Like I was saying, science!
Turns out trying to balance two repelling magnets on top of each other is pretty much impossible. Here's why. This is a magnet, and here is the magnetic field. It's often drawn with lines like this, but actually the magnetic field radiates out in all directions. Really, think of the magnetic field kind of like a ball. When you try to balance another magnet on top of the first magnet, it's about as hard as balancing one ball on top of another ball. So here's the plan. Just like the levitating pencil, we're going to use ring magnets because we can put a shaft through the center of one ring, then drop another ring magnet on the shaft. It will keep them perfectly aligned. Then it's just a matter of putting the bottom magnet on a board to keep it stable and using another board so I can stand on it, and ta-da! Magnetic levitation! Or at least that's the plan.
Okay. Board.
Magnets.
Magnets. Ooh, look at that. Awesome. And now I'm gonna put the platform on. Nice. I got some weights here. Let's see how this works. Yeah. This is gonna work amazing. All right, think I should try it?
Give it a try.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah! I'm doing it! I'm levitating! What?
Just a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do we do?
We need more power.
More power? I like that idea. How do we give it more power?
More shafts, more magnets.
Okay, sure. Well, why don't we do 1, 2, 3, 4 shafts, and then we'll have magnets on all the shafts.
Great idea.
All right. Let's do it. If you attach something ferromagnetic like this washer to a magnet, not only does it stick, but the magnetic field travels down the metal, making it a magnet too, which means you can stick more and more things to each other, and they will continue to stick until you run out of magnetic field. You can do this yourself at home with anything ferromagnetic. Paper clips work pretty well, or washers like I have, or screws or bolts, and they'll continue to stick to each other as long as the magnetic field is strong enough. You can see it's getting pretty weak here, and they'll all stay magnetized as long as the first one is still attached to the magnet. But if you want to go even further, all you need to do is keep adding more magnets to reinforce the magnetic field. I've got a few here, like this. Let's get the chain started, like that. And then I've got a magnet attached to this washer, so it will keep the magnetic field strong. And I continue to add one magnet, one washer, and we'll just see how far I can go. You can even sculpt it a little bit. Look at that. And then at the end, a whole bunch of paper clips. Eventually, the weight will make it fall off, but it's a lot of fun to play with magnets and make art. Speaking of art you can make with magnets, you can also make sculptures. When everything sticks to everything else, you can make some pretty fancy designs. This is a rare earth magnet, a very strong one, and a bunch of nuts that I've gotten. And this one here is an electromagnet, but electromagnets are a little different because they need an electric current to work. Check this out. This is sort of a magnet dude with crazy hair. There's an earth magnet here, and this is a giant screw, and these are some metal bits, and then I've got 2 more magnets at the top here to hold on his crazy wire hair. He's got crazy wire hair because he's crazy magnet dude. Now, of course, we couldn't just talk about magnetic sculptures without maxing it out, so let's max it out. This is a bunch of scrap metal from leftover experiments, and I've got a bunch of rare earth magnets, and now I'm gonna max out a magnet sculpture. Let's see. There you go, a maxed out magnet, me! I made this guy out of metal pipes with earth magnets in between, and these are his arms attached, of course, with magnets. His hand, his little metal pieces attached with magnet. Steel wool for the hair, and of course, hat, non-magnetic. All right, here we go, ready? Want to see a magic trick? Simple copper tube. Drop things through it. Nothing unusual happens, but watch when I drop a magnet through. What? It's not magic, it's science. Because the magnet creates a magnetic field, when it goes through the tube, the magnetic field repels the magnet upwards. Now, the field isn't perfect, so the magnet doesn't come to a stop, but still, it slows down from a fall to a nice, graceful drop. Take a look from above. Pretty amazing, right? Magnets. Not magic, science.
So I've managed to levitate on some magnets, but just barely. What Matt and I needed was more power. So instead of having one shaft and one pair of ring magnets, we're going to use a larger board and put a shaft on each corner. Then we'll have 4 times the power because we're using 4 times the magnets. Hopefully this will be strong enough to get me floating on a cushion of magnetic energy.
And magnets?
Magnets.
Okay, here we go.
This is gonna work great. And top board. Mm-hmm. Ooh, what do you think?
Looks great.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Matt?
You're levitating.
I'm levitating! Woohoo! All right. It feels cool. It sort of feels like surfing a little bit. All right, thank you so much, Matt. That was amazing. And there you have it. Science Max, Experiments at Large, Magnetic Levitation. You know, I'm surprised we could do an entire episode on magnets, and we never actually got them so close to the camera that the camera went all weird, because cameras and magnets, they don't, oh dear. No, that's okay. I can fix this. If I just maybe, maybe if I put the magnet to the camera again, that would, okay, that's not, that didn't help. Oh, okay, well, thanks very much for watching Science Max, Experiments at Large, and we'll see you again as soon as we get into the camera. Oh, hi, Science Maximites. Have you ever been eating pasta and wondered, what could I build with this? Could I build something that could hold an impressive amount of weight? Well, I have, and that's what we're gonna do today on Science Max Experiments at Large. But we're not gonna use cooked pasta because it's too delicious. We're gonna use uncooked pasta, which is less delicious, but it's great for building. We're gonna make a pasta bridge. Here's how you do it. First, you wanna start with a plan. And then you wanna take your pasta, I'm saying pasta, but of course spaghetti is usually the best thing to use, and lay it out on your plan. The reason you have a plan is so that you can make sure all of the spaghetti is exactly the right length. Lay it out on your plan, perfectly aligned like that. There. And now it's time to glue it all together. Now you can use white glue, but it takes a long time. So I suggest a hot glue gun, but make sure you get an adult's permission before you use one of these, okay? So you take your plan, you lay it out, you glue it up. Don't glue it on the paper because that will be bad. And you will end up with your truss, and it looks just like this. Now remember, you want 2 sides because those are the sides of your bridge. And as you can see, I've used several strands of pasta because that'll make it a little bit stronger. Once you have your trusses, it's time for the next part of the plan. This is the roadway, and it works the same way. Lay out your pasta, glue it up, and bam, there it is. Now, you put your trusses on your roadway, and you glue them all together, and you also want to put some struts along the top here, probably, to keep it nice and rigid. In the end, you will end up with a fantastic looking pasta bridge. Pretty good, huh? Pasta bridge. No other bridge could claim to be 100% pasta. Minus the glue. 99.8% pasta. 0.2% glue. I say there, Captain. Set sail. Set sail for the land of pasta bridges. Now, if that was pretty fast for you, don't worry. All the instructions are gonna be on our website. Now, a bridge isn't a bridge unless it spans a gap, because that's what bridges are for. So you put your pasta bridge up there across the books like that, and then you can see just how much weight the bridge holds. It's pretty impressive. If you build it right, even something as flimsy and as delicate as pasta can hold quite a bit of weight. I like to use big, heavy blocks and put them in the middle where there is no support from the books whatsoever, and just keep adding heavy things and see how much weight the bridge will hold before it breaks. How much will it hold? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. That's where you get to be Science Maximites and find out for yourselves. And now, we're gonna max it out. Today on, oh, my pasta. Today on Science Max Experiments at Large, we're gonna be looking at how fragile things can become strong if you build them right. We're also gonna be maxing out the pasta bridge experiment to see if we can make one that's strong enough to hold me. You think we can do it? I know I have no idea, but I'm going to the Center for Skills Development and Training to find out. Oh, hey, Kyle.
Phil.
How you doing?
Great, thanks.
Awesome. This is Kyle. He's got a master's in civil engineering. Did you want some pasta?
I'm good.
I can go back and get some more.
Really, I'm good.
Okay.
So what does a civil engineer do?
Well, a civil engineer builds the world around us. Talk about our homes, keeping us warm in the winter, our roads, hey, even our bridges.
Bridges, that's fantastic, because that's what I need your help with. I want to max out the pasta bridge.
Awesome.
I want to make one big enough that I can walk across it.
Okay, that's never been done before.
I know, right? You think we can do it?
We're gonna need a lot of help to do that.
We don't need help. All we need is a lot of pasta, which I have. Ha-ha!
Nice.
What do you say?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Why don't we just take some to start, and then...
In order to max out our pasta bridge, the idea is to take many, many strands of pasta and just keep gluing them together so the long beams of pasta in our giant bridge is nothing but many, many regular-sized strands of pasta. Here's where we were after 20 minutes of gluing.
There, that's nice.
Yeah, I think this piece is done.
Okay, so how does it work? Is it strung? Whoa.
Well, let's give it a go, eh? Yeah, I think this will hold.
Great! So we just need to build a few more of these then, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How many more?
212 more.
212 of these.
More.
212, but it took us like 20 minutes to make this one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess so. I mean, this is Science Max experiments at large. That's what we do. We just keep building, and, you know, I don't have any plans for the next while, so we can...
Phil.
Yep.
I think that there's a better way of doing this.
I would be delighted to know there's a better way. It'd be faster than this.
Much faster.
Sure, let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm just gonna put the pasta back in the bag because it'll
Phil,
get stale.
You don't have to do that.
No, but it'll get stale.
Phil, I'm gonna call in one of my friends. We're probably gonna need some more help with this.
Oh man, that's a great idea. Sorry, that's a great idea because
Yeah.
Because at least we could get your friend to help clean up.
Better sandcastles in 80 seconds.
Building sandcastles is fun, but you can't use dry sand because it doesn't stay up very well. You have to use wet sand. But even if you use wet sand, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. But if you use sand with the power of science, it does hold the weight. Dry sand, wet sand, science sand. Here's what's going on. Say these ping pong balls are grains of sand. When they're dry, they don't hold together very well. That's why you can't build a sandcastle out of dry sand. But if you get the sand wet a little bit, the grains of sand will hold together a little better because of the surface tension of the water. That's why it's easier to build a sandcastle with wet sand, but they still won't hold much weight. But if you add something that creates even more friction between the grains of sand, like say this sandpaper, it will hold the weight. So here's what you do. Take window screen and cut it into circles. Make sure you get an adult's permission first, okay? Deal? Put in a layer of sand, pack it down, and put in a circle of window screen. And a layer of sand, pack it down, circle of window screen. Then, you guessed it, layer of sand, pack it down, circle of window screen. The window screens are gonna add more friction between the grains of sand and will make your sandcastle strong. Strong with the power of science. And then, you can put lots of weight on it. And there you go, sand with the power of science. Okay, I had to max it out. Let's see how strong science sand really is. Huh? Science!
Our pasta bridge was going to take a long time to build out of individual pieces. So we have a new plan.
Hey, Michaela.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. This is Michaela. She's an undergrad in industrial engineering, right?
I am.
And you and Kyle have a new plan for how we can build our pasta bridge that's not gonna look like this.
Oh, man.
This is the best that Kyle and I could do with 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I have better.
Good, I'm glad. How are we gonna do it?
So, instead of that, we're gonna try something like this.
Oh, okay. This is sort of like a giant burrito kind of thing, right?
Yep,
But we're going to build the bridge out of this.
exactly.
We're gonna make it longer, though?
Yep, we're gonna make it 8 feet long. We have this long pole, right?
Yep.
And we have sheets of this pasta. We're gonna put them on the diagonal.
Okay.
And we're gonna roll it, but we're gonna start from this corner and we're gonna keep rolling.
And don't forget to add water.
And we gotta add water.
I'll add the water.
Okay.
Adding water, just like this?
Yep. It helps the pasta to stick together. So as we're rolling, we're rolling, we're rolling. We're gonna keep doing this with a bunch more sheets so that it gets really, really long, like 8 feet long. And when we're finally done rolling, we gotta spray it with some varnish,
Yep.
and so that it all holds together.
Great, and then it's gonna be about this thing.
Yeah.
When we're finished with it.
Exactly.
This is going to be one of the parts of the deck of our bridge.
Great, so each one of these large pieces is gonna be like one single strand of pasta in the little bridge we made.
Yeah,
We need a lot of these.
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Still, it's a lot faster than doing it piece by piece with just the spaghetti.
Oh.
Every time I hold it up, you make that noise.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Awesome. The shape of something makes a big difference in how strong it is. Get some toilet paper rolls and put them in a square, and then stack books on top of them. They can hold weight. Thing is, they can actually hold a lot more weight than you probably think. In fact, the amount of weight just paper in a tube can hold is really kind of impressive. Ha ha! And now, let's max it out. Bill's weight on 2 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 4 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 6 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 10 toilet paper rolls. Oh. Ha! Ha ha! Bill's weight can be supported by 10 toilet paper rolls. But what if Bill jumps? Ha 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 ha. Didn't really work.
Kyle and Michaela's plan is to use a long pole and sheets of uncooked pasta. We roll the pasta around the pole and spray it with a little varnish. We roll sheets and sheets of pasta along an 8-foot-long pole, making many layers of pasta. Then we wait for it to dry and remove the pole. What we have is an 8-foot-long hollow tube of pasta that becomes a single piece of the bridge. Then we attach a bunch of these pieces together and use more sheets of pasta to glue them into the shape we used for our small pasta bridge.
We're making our giant pasta bridge by wrapping sheets of pasta around and around the poles using the technique we just had, making a whole large pole out of many, many, many sheets of pasta rolled around each other. And we've made a giant truss. Look at this. This is great, guys.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah. If I hit it, you think it'd stay together?
No, stop.
What?
This is pasta, not steel. It's only made to just hold you.
Kyle, what do you think are the chances that this is gonna hold me when we build it?
Something like 50-50.
Not bad. Michaela, what do you think?
I'm gonna hope for the best.
hoping for the best. That's exactly the kind of gray area we like to work in at Science Max Experiments at Large. Experiments at Large, I don't know if anybody's even ever done this before.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so.
Which is why we have no idea if it's going to work. Okay, so one more of these, because these are the sides.
Yep.
Roadway, and then the top.
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
While we're waiting, it's a good moment to point out one of the things that makes our bridge really strong. That is triangles. As you can see, the truss, or the side of our bridge, is really just 3 big triangles. Triangles are very strong shapes to build with, and they work great in bridges. Now it's time for Science So Simple, a caveman could do it. This is a caveman. Today we're going to teach this caveman how to build a strong structure. Here are some boxes. Go on and build a shelter, and I'll come back and see how it worked out. No, that's not right. You need to build walls by stacking boxes on top of each other. That's how you build. Understand?
Oh, yeah.
I'll come back later and see how it worked out. Uh-oh. Does that look right to you?
Yeah.
Look at those boxes. They're stacked on top of each other. But if they are in tall stacks, what would happen if you push on the wall? You see? Walls don't stay up if you build like that. Let's try again. I'll help you this time. First, lay out the foundation, where your wall should go. Good. Now let's make the second level. No, don't put it right on top. You need to stack in between. That's how you make a strong wall. Okay, I'll come back later. Nice work. Why don't you give it a try? Looks strong, but you forgot a box. Join us next time when we talk about how to make a door.
Building a door in a wall is hard because how do you make a big gaping hole in your wall without your wall falling over? Well, people have come up with lots of ways to put doors and windows in walls made of stone blocks over the centuries. And you can do this at home with books like I'm doing or with building blocks. Just go up until you're happy with the height and then stack each next layer a little closer to the middle until the final layer touches just like this. And then you take a big heavy book and you drop it right on top. And it's pretty stable and you've just made a doorway. It works even better if it's part of a wall because you want extra weight on the outside of these books here. So of course, I had to build one that was part of a whole wall. This is the same corbelled arch built out of little building blocks. And as you can see, I went closer and closer together until it meets at the top, and it is very strong. Whoa. Ha-ha! Now, let's max it out.
The kind of arch we're building is a corbelled arch. And the Science Max build team and I are using pieces of wood cut to different lengths.
How high can it go? We can use my head to, no, okay, wait.
It takes a while to get together, but once it's done, it looks just like the kinds of doorways stone buildings had in ancient times.
Ta-da! There you go, a maxed out corbelled arch. We went straight up until we got to these layers, and they got a little bit closer and closer to the middle until the last piece is one big solid piece. And if we built this right, it should be strong enough to hold me up. Yeah! Science! Woo-hoo! Well, it held me up for a minute, didn't it?
We rolled our pasta and constructed one truss. Now we've made a lot more rolls of pasta and connected them all together to make a second truss and a roadway, as well as the cross braces on top. And when we get it all together, we end up with...
Whoa, pasta bridge!
Pasta bridge!
We did it! We built it. We have no idea how long it will stay up, but it's up. It's doing its bridge thing for now anyway. I am very excited because, as far as we know, I'm the only one to try to cross a bridge made out of pasta. What do you guys think?
I think I don't want you to be the last person to cross a pasta bridge.
You're absolutely right, but I'm gonna do it. I think we're ready. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh no, that doesn't bode well for our pasta bridge. What happened here, Kyle?
You put all your weight in the middle of the joist. It snapped.
If only there was a way to distribute your weight. Maybe if you crawled?
Do like the military style kind of.
Oh, right, so that I'm putting my weight on more than one spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. That gives me an idea. You guys stay right there. I know what to
Okay.
do. I know what to do. I know what to do.
You're coming back, right?
Skis distribute your weight over a large area so you don't sink in the snow. That's what skis do, which is perfect for the pasta bridge.
Come on.
Okay, here
Come
we go.
on.
Carefully.
Is it working?
It's working.
I hear some cracking.
This might do it.
Try to spread your legs apart.
Spreading my
Distribute
legs
your weight.
apart.
Distribute your weight.
Distributing my weight. It's swaying a lot.
Oh, man.
Whoa. Crossing the pasta bridge. Woo, high fives. There you go. Science Max, experiments at large, pasta bridge, skis. What more could you want? Maybe a pasta chairlift of some sort.
Science! Today's Science Max is all about balance.
Okay.
If it's a potato or if it's me, figuring out how things balance is what we're all about.
It works really well.
Swinging, spinning, and staying put. Today on Science Max, experiments at large.
Greetings, Science Maximites. Today, we're gonna be talking about, balance, or what you call balance in science, which is center of gravity. Now, the center of gravity is a place you can find in any object where it's equally balanced on all sides. I balanced this spoon on the eraser of this pencil, and where the spoon is balancing is its center of gravity. But if I take this little tiny dime and put it in the spoon, it doesn't balance anymore. But if I put the dime in this spoon and balance it in a different spot, I can find the new center of gravity, and the spoon balances again. Here's another experiment you can do. Take a potato and a ruler or a stick. Try to balance the potato on the ruler. I'm gonna save us both a lot of time. It's really hard to do. The potato does have a center of gravity, but because of its shape, it's going to be really hard to find and really hard to balance. But if you take some forks and you stick them into the potato, you're no longer just trying to balance the potato, you have to balance the forks and the potato. And it gives it a very different center of gravity, which makes it a little bit easier to find and a little bit easier to balance. Ha ha!
Let's take a closer look at how the center of gravity works. Using our potato. No, that's too close. Back off a little bit. Okay, good. If you want to find where the center of gravity is, you can hang an object and draw a line straight down. Then hang it from a different spot and draw another line. Do this 1 or 2 more times and you can see where the lines meet is the center of gravity. If our potato was balanced on a stick, the center of gravity is a long way from the stick, so it's going to be pretty hard to balance. Now, let's stick some forks in the potato and try again. One line there, a line there, and a line there, and you can see that the lines all come together down here. That's right, the center of gravity doesn't have to be on the object. With the center of gravity way down there, when we try to balance the potato and the forks on the stick, you can see the center of gravity is much closer to the stick. That makes it way easier to balance.
Now, because you're Science Maximites, I'm sure you know that a potato and forks is just the beginning. Everything you have in your house has a center of gravity, which means
theoretically, you can balance anything. Try it yourself. Find things around the house and see if you can get them to balance. And if you can't, try adding things to increase the center of gravity and make it a little bit easier. Now we're gonna max it out. That's why I'm gonna go to the center for skills development and training, and we're gonna explore center of gravity even more. See if we can get something to balance. And what better thing to balance than me? Oh, table, right. Hey, this is Sandhya and Swapna. No, Sandhya and Swapna.
Right.
And they are going for their PhDs in science. And you guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Work with Let's Talk Science, right?
That's right.
All about science education, just like us. And I'm glad you guys are here because I need to max out this. Oh, look at it balance. Whoa. Hey, whoa. Okay, I got it, it's fine.
Good. So we're gonna get a gigantic potato?
No, I thought we would use me instead.
So you're the potato.
Yeah, I guess I'm the potato. All right. And I need something to balance on.
Well, how about a tightrope?
Oh yeah, a tightrope. Have either of you done a tightrope before?
Nope.
Me neither. All right, let's set one up.
All right.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess it's great.
We're gonna take our balancing potato experiment and max it out. To get a potato to balance is pretty hard, but if you stick forks in the potato, it works a lot better. In our maxed out version, we're gonna balance on a slack line, which is sort of like a tightrope. It's a flat strap tightened between 2 points. And in this version, I'm the potato. And instead of sticking giant forks in me, which is not something I want to try, Sandhya, Swapna, and I are going to experiment to see what I can do to improve my balance.
There. We're using this ratchet strap above a crash mat because we only have it about 3 feet off the ground, but it's still gonna be really hard to balance on, right?
Right.
Okay, so who gets to go first? Okay, here we go. Ready? Hey.
Got it?
No. No. Okay.
I think what you need to do is spread your mass out more to be able to find that center of gravity easier.
So I should balance on one leg?
Start by trying to put your arms out. Let's
Good
try
call.
this again.
Trying it again. All right.
All right, arms out.
Okay.
Let's see if this works.
Okay, so when I say, you're gonna let go. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3, go. No.
It's a little bit better.
It was a little bit better.
A little longer.
That way I went from 1 second to 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to actually take one step.
Okay.
That would be nice.
Well,
What else can we do?
maybe we can try weights. Try and hold them out.
If I have weights in my hands, that would increase the center of gravity in terms of putting
it
the
out.
weight on the outside. You guys have something we can use?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, good. Wow, these are heavy. Okay.
These are weights.
Yes, they are. Well, that's what they're for. They're supposed to be heavy. Good call. When I hold this one, and I'll borrow your shoulder, Swapna, and then when I say, Sandhya, pass me the other weight. Here we go. Ready? And pass me the weight. No. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, good. Whoa. Okay, let go. Okay, let go. Oh, no. Oh, it's really hard. I feel I would work better if I could lift the
Yeah.
weights up, but they're too heavy for that.
All right.
So, what else can we do?
Well, tightrope walkers use a long pole so that they can balance on a tightrope.
That's right, I've seen that. Do we have a pole?
I think go find one.
Okay, great. I'll put the weights away. Have you ever heard someone say, I will be back in a jiffy? Well, now you can tell them that's almost impossible. You see, a jiffy is an actual measure of time. It's 1/100th of a second. You see this timer? The first number is seconds. The second number is tenths of a second. And that third number that you can't even read, it's going so fast, that's hundredths of a second. Each one of those is a jiffy. Here are some things that happen in a jiffy. A cheetah moving top speed travels 20 centimeters. A hummingbird flaps its wings almost once. Can you blink in a jiffy? Nope, takes 10 jiffies for that. How about snapping your fingers?
8 jiffies. So the next time someone tells you, I'll be back in a jiffy, you can tell them it took 170 jiffies just to say that.
So I tried walking the slack line, and I wasn't very good at it. Holding my arms out at my sides seemed to help a little. Then I tried holding some weights to see if that would make any difference, and the weights were so heavy, I couldn't really hold them out very far. Now the plan is to try a long pole. Tightrope walkers use long poles to help them balance. The longer the pole is, the more it affects your center of gravity, especially because you can move it up and down to help you stay balanced.
Ta-da!
Nice. So the important thing on this is what? The balance, right?
Yeah, you
That's
want to
right.
find the center of gravity of that as well.
So
you
try
can
and find the center of the
balance
pole.
it.
The center is right there. That's where it balances.
There, you got it.
Okay. How do I hold this and get up on the strap?
I'll help
You're
you.
gonna help me? Okay. Oh. Okay. Uh-huh. Whoa. Whoa.
You good?
Okay. I think I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa.
You're balancing.
Check it out. Hey, this isn't so bad.
Hey, look at that.
You can really use it to help correct when you start to fall. You just move the pole, and that's whoa. Totally helping my center of gravity stay right in the center above the strap. Whoa. Whoa.
You can do it.
A long pole can help tightrope walkers and me balance in two ways. First, it lowers my center of gravity. Normally, a person's center of gravity is about here. But with a pole, it changes to way down here, much lower to the thing I'm walking on. But a long pole also helps in another way, because in order to fall off the rope, I have to rotate. It's easier to rotate something that has mass in the middle than it is when the mass is spread out. That's why you put your arms out when you want to balance. A pole works just like your arms. The mass gets spread out way more, and it makes it much harder to rotate around the rope and fall off.
There you go. Center of gravity. We're done. Usually we don't have it figured out this quickly. Usually we struggle a little bit more. All right, high fives.
Way
we did
to
it.
go.
Way
Awesome.
to go. So we did it.
Yeah.
We achieved what we set out to do, balanced with a pole. So how else can we use science to make my balance better?
Well, tops are great because when they're spinning, they balance.
That's right. So the forces used when something spins is something I can use.
Yeah.
All right, this calls for another small experiment. Are you guys good here?
Yeah, sure. We'll keep practicing.
Awesome. All right, back to the lab.
Bye, Phil.
Here's another experiment that's all about balance. Take a pencil and try to balance it on its tip. Doesn't work that well, does it? But if you take a pencil and stick it through a circle of cardboard and try it again, it works. The reason is because this circle is spinning, it creates a force that keeps the pencil standing up. As long as the circle is spinning fast enough, it counteracts the force of gravity because of the conservation of angular momentum. The conservation of angular momentum. The conservation of angular momentum.
Science Max presents Ways to Sound Super Smart. A top will balance when it's spinning. It works because it spins. But why say it that way when you can impress your friends and all the adults you know by saying conservation of angular momentum? Why does a top spin? Because of the conservation of angular momentum. Between you and me, we know that it boils down to the fact that it's spinning. But conservation of angular momentum is how you say it if you're studying physics in university. Just remember to thank Science Max when you impress everyone by telling them a top balances because of, say it with me, the conservation of angular momentum.
Now, let's max this out. Gyroscopic force is pretty amazing. Because this bike tire is spinning, it's hard for me to move it. But it's really hard to see how much it resists a change in orientation unless I do this. It looks like it's defying gravity, but really it's because the amount of force needed to change its orientation is more than the force of gravity pulling down on it. It won't last forever, only as long as the bike tire keeps spinning. But you gotta admit, it's pretty cool science.
And whoa! Science! Look at that, it totally balances.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to balance. Do you think it'll work if I hold it?
Well, let's see you try.
All right.
right.
So I'm gonna use you to get up on the thing, and Cindy, you go give her. Yeah, that's good. And spinning it up. Here we go.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa. You can feel it. I can really feel it resisting, and
Yeah.
I think it would work.
I think it just needs to be spinning a lot faster.
That would make it even stronger, yeah. It kind of hit my chest, so.
You know what? Maybe you should keep it out to one side.
Well, it's still spinning, yeah.
Well, won't that?
I think you need two.
Oh yeah, you're right, one on either side. It'd be great if we could actually have some way I can keep my arms free though.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Get two wheels and we rope them into some sort of backpack situation.
What?
And we have a way for you guys to get the wheels spinning really fast.
I don't know.
No, I have it all in my head. Trust me, come on, I'll show you. I'll show you. Wait, you guys go around. Come, don't go on that side of the.
Time for a mini-max. Here's how you can use the forces of things spinning around to defy gravity! Well, sort of. Take a ping pong ball and put it in a plastic container like a cup, or this is the top of a CD spindle. Put it in and start spinning it around. If you do it right, you can get the ball spinning only on the sides of your container and not touching the bottom. That's centripetal force at work. Oh. It works a lot better and is much more impressive if you have something that doesn't have a bottom. Fortunately, I do. This bucket doesn't have a bottom. Put the ping pong ball in the bucket and spin it around, and if I'm very careful, I can lift the bucket into the air and ta-da! I'm defying the force of gravity. Science! Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Phil, is that it? Is that all you're gonna do? No, of course not. This is Science Max Experiments at Large. This is a garbage can with no bottom in it. And this is a bag of golf balls. Let's see what happens when we put them together. Well, I managed to keep one golf ball in my garbage can. But as you can see, it works really well. And there you go, sort of maxed out. This is a garbage can with the bottom cut out, and this is a soccer ball. I'm gonna see if I can keep the soccer ball inside the garbage can using centripetal force. Okay. It's working! It's very tiring though. How do you throw out a garbage can that's been used? Science! Here's a fun experiment you can do that plays with the forces created when you spin something. Get a flat platform or a tray and tie rope to every corner. Get an adult to help you with this. Then you get a cup of water. Use a plastic cup, definitely, just in case. You put it on the tray and you start spinning. Now the force is created when you spin something. Centripetal force pulls the water to the outside of the circle. And because the centripetal force is stronger than the force of gravity, no water spills out of the cup, even when it's upside down. If you slow it down very carefully, you'll see that all the water is still in your cup.
Now, I definitely suggest you do this experiment outside, and I definitely suggest you do it with an adult. Because when you get tired, which you will, if you don't stop it carefully, you'll have to explain what you've been doing.
Science! Using science to improve my balance has totally worked so far. So now, Sandia, Swapna, and I are trying to figure out how to use the forces created when a wheel spins to help me balance. We need a spinning wheel on one side and one on the other. I've decided to take 2 bikes and remove the handlebars, seats, and front wheels, then cross them over each other and attach them to a backpack. Sandy and Swapna can use the pedals to spin the tires fast, and I will use the gyroscopic force to balance. Or at least, that's the plan.
Behold, the gyroscopic stabilization backpack! Stabilization away! I'm excited. Okay, you think it's gonna work?
I think so. I'm kind of skeptical.
Really? You're skeptical? Why?
I don't know. I don't know if you can do it.
I don't know if I can do it either, but that's why we do science!
Let's see it.
Okay, spin me up. Okay. Whoa.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
And, oh, ready? Go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's working.
Cool.
It's working.
It's actually working.
It's good. Oh, what's getting harder? It's getting harder.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. That worked really well until the wheels stopped spinning.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, when the wheel was spinning, it was resisting motion in all directions so that you wouldn't fall.
Yeah, but when they stopped spinning,
You didn't have that anymore.
that doesn't do anything. It's just a 50-pound weight on my back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So I guess that's why tightrope walkers don't use spinning wheels. They use a pole instead.
Right.
But we've proven that they can.
Exactly.
Yeah. Max said high five.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah! I now have the balance of a ninja circus performer thanks to...
Science.
Thanks for watching Science Max Experiments at Large. Okay, spin me up. Spin me up. And we'll do some more science. Gyroscopic backpack to the rescue. All right, let's go.
Phil to Mission Control. Come in, Mission Control. This is Mission Control, Phil. We read you loud and clear. I would... Oh. Greetings, Science! Greetings, Science Maximites! Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil McCordick, and today we're gonna be building an air-powered rocket. Too difficult, you say? Nonsense, it's easy. It's not like it's rocket science. Hey, it is rocket science. Cool! Here's what you need. You need a bottle and a cork. Make sure that the cork fits nicely into the bottle, and then you need an air pump, because you can't have an air-powered rocket without air. And on this air pump, you need a pin, the special kind that you use to inflate basketballs or volleyballs or stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is push the pin through the cork. You might want an adult's help for this. Push it through until it goes through on the other side, and then make sure you get a good seal with the bottle. Now you're ready to launch your rocket with air pressure. But first, let's do a few other things. Take your cork and put it in a tripod launcher. You can make this out of pencils or anything you want, as long as it stands up nice and solidly. And then, of course, you want to decorate your bottle so it looks like a rocket. This is my rocket. Pretty good, right? So stick the bottle on the cork like before, like that. And then you stick the pin in the bottom. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna inflate the bottle with air pressure, and then it's gonna launch. Okay, here we go. You know, rocketry really isn't something you should do indoors. Come on.
This was supposed to be a field. What's going... Why are there... Oh, it's in my shoe.
Oh, this will do nicely.
Now, don't forget to do this with an adult, and don't forget your safety glasses. Now set up the rocket in a nice big open area and make sure it's pointed away from you. And then what you do is you pump the air pump. And it puts air into the rocket, which pushes down on the water, which will push down on the cork, until eventually So be Science Maximites and come up with your own rocket design. Try different amounts of water, different fins, even a different size bottle. Try it for yourself and see if you can get one that goes higher than mine just did. How did I get in? I think it was this way.
Do you want step-by-step directions on how to build your own air-powered rocket? Well, don't worry. Everything you need is on our website.
All right, now it is time to max out our air-powered rocket. I've got Adam here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Adam's from Logix Academy, and you guys go into schools and talk about science.
We do.
Fantastic. Do you guys do a air-powered rocket?
Yes,
Does it look like this one?
Looks exactly like that.
Oh, that's great. So how do we max this out?
So we want to add more pressure to this bottle to try to get it to launch a little bit higher.
More air.
More air.
Great, so what do we do?
So we're gonna use one of these.
Ooh.
It's air compressor.
Right, which works a lot like the bike pump, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So we're gonna have compressed air coming from here through this tube into underneath here.
Yeah.
And out that nozzle there, and you're going to put your bottle on top.
And out the nozzle
like
into
that.
the bottle, like that.
Yep, and now we want to be able to hold it in place. So we're gonna have these little fingers here that are actually gonna work to hold it until we want to let it go. So we're gonna lock it in place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Totally locked.
Exactly.
And then what? How do we launch
Now,
it?
you're gonna take this cord and go a safe distance away, and we are going to pull it.
And then we would pull it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should use this one here.
Okay, great. Now we put water in it, right?
Yep, you're gonna put water in there.
Why do we use water?
So the water is gonna act to push the rocket up into the air. The compressed air in here is gonna shoot the water out the back, and the water is gonna push on the rocket and make it launch. It's just to give it a little extra push.
How do I get it on there without spilling any water?
So just rest it next to the
Just go
launcher
fast?
there. Yeah, just go really fast.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we
There's
go.
A little bit.
Haha. And then
Lock it in place.
locking it in place. There's no
Okay.
air pressure in the hose yet, right?
Not yet, no.
First, we have to spool out the launch cord. So the air compressor has the compressed air in it. It's ready to go.
Yep, it's all ready to go. We just need to connect the hoses.
Adam, I've noticed it's snowing a little bit. Do you think that's any reason why we should stop?
I don't think so.
No, the science must go on. Blast shields down. Connecting hoses.
When we connect the air hose, the pressure from the compressor travels down the line and into the bottle. You can see the bubbles of air going in. Those bubbles are carrying more air into the bottle, giving it more pressure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's the rocket. Let's do it again. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Success.
Success.
Nice. So, small bottle, worked really well. How do we make it bigger? I know, bigger nose cone?
I think a bigger bottle.
Oh, bigger bottle, yeah, of course, that's easy. How about this empty water bottle that we have now?
That might work, except that the top here is too big. I don't think it'll fit on our launcher.
Oh yeah, so what should we use?
A 2-liter pop bottle might work a bit better because it'll be about the same size.
Oh, that's right, 2-liter pop bottles have the same opening as these small water bottles.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, let's make a couple rockets out of 2-liter pop bottles.
Awesome.
Pressure happens when you squeeze something or compress it. Solids do not compress very well. I will demonstrate. Solid? Is it compressing? No, okay. Liquids don't compress very well either. You can demonstrate this for yourself by getting a plastic water bottle and filling it right to the very top with water and putting on the cap and squeezing. You'll find that you can't really squeeze the bottle very much. But if you empty out half of the water, no, don't pour it on the floor, and then put the cap back on the bottle and try to squeeze it, you'll find that you can squeeze it a lot more. That's because gases compress much easier than solids or liquids. Here's what's going on. Say this container is, well, any container, and these magnets are air molecules. Now I'm gonna put the magnets in pole to pole so they repel each other and wanna stay a certain distance apart, just like air molecules do. There we go, a container at normal gas pressure. Now watch what happens when I add more gas molecules. They start to get squeezed together. And if I add more, the amount of space that each one gets is less and less. Now this container is under a lot of pressure. These molecules really want to escape through the top of the container, but they can't because I'm holding them down. If I took something like this plunger and I pushed them down even more, now they're really under pressure. They want to get out, but they can't because I'm holding them in. Now watch what happens when I let them go. They all pop out the top, and the container has returned to normal gas pressure. That's what happens when we put gas in a container like this one. These containers that hold compressed gas are made out of solid steel because you need something really strong or it might explode if you put too much gas pressure in it. That's why these are only filled up by professionals who know exactly how much pressure it can take. That is the power of pressure.
Our air-powered rocket was working pretty well, but there's always room to max it out. In order to do that, we need to understand how it works. First, we fill the bottle almost halfway with water, and then we add air to the bottle. The air pressure builds up, and the air presses down on the water. The rocket takes off when we pull on the release valve, which was blocking the opening of the bottle. Once that happens, the air pushes out the water. It's the water that gives us our thrust, so the water is very important. Once all the water is gone, the air escapes and the bottle returns to normal air pressure. But by that time, it's high in the sky. Now the plan is to use 2-liter bottles instead of regular water bottles to see if they work better.
Now we've made a few more rockets out of 2-liter bottles, and I'm gonna fill this one up with water, and we're going to fire it again and see what happens. Now, the idea is that these will work better because they have more volume, and more volume means we could possibly put more air pressure in. It's hard to know until you try it, of course. But the other reason why it might work better is 2-liter bottles generally hold carbonated beverages, which means they already have to be made a little stronger than regular water bottles because they have to hold in the carbonation, which is just like air pressure. All right, ready to go. Okay, here we go. You ready, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, blast shield down. Pressurize! 3, 2, 1. Let's do another one. And 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Wow! This is the superhero design rocket, which I'm very excited about. All right, Adam, it's going really well. But before we fire this next one, how can we make it bigger, better, and more awesome?
Get more pressure.
More pressure. How do we do that?
Well, we're firing at about 90 PSI right now.
PSI, pounds per square inch of pressure, right?
Yep. So we could increase it.
We could increase it. So how, we're at 90 now, how high does the tank go?
Go to about 120.
120 PSI. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. 90, 110, 120. Should we fire it?
Let's fire it.
Let's fire it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, actually it worked okay. There's just a piece missing here, but I think the bottle is still okay.
Yeah.
So, 2-liter bottle, full pressure. I think we can still make something even better, even more maxed out. What if we used an even bigger bottle? You know the 5-liter ones that you see on a water cooler?
Yeah.
You think we can use one of those?
Definitely. I think we could use that. We need to change the mouthpiece size
Yes.
to fit our launchers.
Well, let's do it.
Do it.
being crushed by all this pressure. A whole kilogram is being pushed down on every square centimeter of my body. 103 kilopascals. Actually, 1 kilogram for every square centimeter on your body is the exact kind of pressure that you and I are under at all times every day. We don't notice it because we're used to it, but it sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is. Here's an experiment you can do with a plastic bottle. Say at room temperature, there are 10 million air molecules in here. Doesn't really matter how many, but we'll say there's 10 million at normal room temperature. What happens if I heat up the air inside this bottle? This is warm water. What I'm trying to do is heat up the air inside the bottle because the air molecules, when they get hotter, move faster and need more room. So the 10 million air molecules are starting to escape out the mouth of the bottle and reducing the number of air molecules inside. And now I take the bottle out and cap it. Because the air molecules heated up and speeded up, they needed more room. Now there's less of them in the bottle. There's about 4 million air molecules inside this bottle, but they're all hot air molecules and they have a higher pressure, and you don't notice it because the air out here isn't crushing the bottle. But watch what happens if I cool the air inside the bottle. This is ice water. So what's happening now is the molecules are slowing down and they need less space. So they need less room and they're being crushed by the pressure on the outside of the bottle. Ha-ha! It has been crushed because the colder air molecules don't need the same kind of room as the hot air molecules. The room temperature air has crushed the bottle. The air inside has a lower pressure than the air outside. Pretty amazing. Even more amazing when we max it out. This is a steel drum. What we've done is we put some water in it and we're heating it up to boiling so there's nothing but hot air inside the drum. This is an airtight cap, which we use to seal the drum. And now we cool the drum off. Hey, Trevor, give me a hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, you lift! That's good. This pool is filled with ice. What we're doing now is cooling off the steel drum, which will cool off the air inside it. Which means, eventually, the air inside the steel drum will be a much lower pressure than the air outside the steel drum.
Because the steel drum has a lot more volume than a 2-liter pop bottle, it takes a lot longer for the air to cool down. The other thing to think about is that it's a steel drum. I could stand on it and it wouldn't even dent. But sure enough, after a few minutes...
Whoa! Check it out! The barrel has totally crushed. The low pressure air inside the barrel wasn't enough to withstand the force of the regular air pressure that you and I walk through every day. The air pressure all around us is enough to crush a steel drum. How cool is that?
Our air-powered rockets have been working really well, but we still want to go further. Since the 2-liter bottle worked better than the water bottle, we think increasing the size again might make it more awesome. So now the plan is to switch our 2-liter bottle with a 20-liter water cooler jug and make a rocket out of that. Because the launcher nozzle, which holds the bottle in place till we're ready to launch it, isn't going to fit the opening of this bigger jug, we've decided to use the cap that came with the jug. If we screw the cap on, it'll work sort of like the cork. The air pressure will press down on the water and keep pushing against the cap until the cap has a catastrophic failure, which is a very cool way of saying that eventually the cap will break and the bottle will shoot into the sky.
20-liter water cooler jug filled with some water. This is the cap that'll work sort of like the cork. We put the air pressure in there, the cap can't take it anymore, pops off, and the thing flies, hopefully. Let's find out. Okay, that looks good. There. Let's do this. Go for pressure! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hilarious! That worked pretty well. It sort of does that. I wonder if it's aerodynamic.
No.
No. So, what else can we do to make it even more maxed out?
I think we've used the 2-liter bottles. It worked really well.
The 2-liter bottles are the best, right?
I think so.
So, what do we do?
I think we can probably stack them. If we stack them on top of each other.
Yeah.
That worked.
I like that. So we put a whole bunch of them together.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. Why don't we use 3 stacks?
Awesome.
We'll use 3 stacks, 3 launchers, 3 times the thrust, and we'll make a giant rocket out of 2-liter bottle.
Yeah, great idea.
High fives. Here we go. Gas molecules get further apart when you warm them up and closer together when you cool them down. So what happens if you keep cooling them down? Well, they turn into this. This is liquid nitrogen. Nitrogen makes up 78% of the air we breathe, but when you cool it down to minus 196 degrees Celsius, it turns into a liquid. It's boiling right now because at room temperature, nitrogen wants to be a gas. So the liquid nitrogen is turning into gaseous nitrogen, and all of the extra molecules are escaping through the top of the bottle. So what happens if I put a cap on the bottle? Right now, the liquid nitrogen is turning back into a gas, but because there's a cap on the bottle, the gas has nowhere to go. So the pressure is just gonna keep building and building until the plastic bottle can't contain it anymore, and it pops like a balloon. Science!
Our rockets have gone from small to bigger to even bigger. Now the plan is to use 3 2-liter bottles and create columns of them into a giant rocket. We pressurize them just like we did before, but with more thrust, it might work even better. Even if it doesn't work better, I'm pretty excited about this new plan.
Giant rocket! Giant rocket! You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, blast shields down. Connecting hose. Dialing up pressure. Pressure is rising. It's bubbling. Bubbling. 100 PSI. Okay, stand by to fire. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Woo! Awesome! Yeah, let's go check it out. Well, there you have it. Rocket Science Max. Experiments at large. Well done. Nicely, nicely done. Do you think we could fire it again? Yeah, it looks like it needs some repairs, though. Greetings, Science Maximites! My name is Phil McCordick, and the name of the show is Science Max Experiments at Large. Today, we're taking a closer look at chemistry. Ooh. Chemistry is the science of atoms and molecules, the things that make up all matter, and how they interact with each other. Take, for example, this glow stick. Actually, don't take it, because I kind of need it. The glow stick doesn't glow until you... The glow stick doesn't glow until you break the barrier and mix the 2 chemicals, and they start to glow. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? Chemistry. Now, the chemical reaction we're looking at today is the old vinegar and baking soda volcano. But this reaction doesn't have anything to do with volcanoes. It's chemistry. Now, this experiment is totally safe, but I do recommend you get an adult's permission before you do it because it's very messy. Yeah. First, you're gonna want baking soda and vinegar. These are your 2 main ingredients, but you'll also want dish soap and red food coloring if you want it to look a little bit more like lava. Now, I like to mix the baking soda, red food coloring, and dish soap together with a little warm water, so all you have to do is add the vinegar. And when you do, this is what happens. And there you go.
chemical reaction. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Phil, how much vinegar or baking soda do I use? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. This is where you can be science maximites. Try different amounts. More vinegar, more baking soda, more dish soap. Who knows? Write down the amounts each time you use it and find out what amounts work best. That's called science. And that's what we're gonna be looking at today, chemistry in all its forms. And of course, because it is Science Max, experiments at large, we're going to max out the vinegar and baking soda volcano. So I'm off to the Center for Skills Development and Training. Come on. Hey, Talina.
Hi, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is Talina. She's going for her PhD in chemistry from McMaster, right?
Yep.
Awesome, which means you can help me max out the baking soda and vinegar. We need vinegar. You grab that vinegar. And vinegar volcano. So what happens when we mix these two chemicals?
Well, vinegar is an acid and baking soda is a base, and when you mix them, they neutralize each other to produce carbon dioxide and water as a byproduct.
So acids and bases are kind of like opposites.
Yep.
So I guess that makes sense. When you put them together, crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
Awesome, chemistry. Okay, so I want to use this much vinegar and this much baking soda.
What's with the fish tank?
The fish tank is where I want to mix it all together. What do you think?
Awesome.
Maxed out. Okay, let's move the fish tank somewhere where we won't make a huge mess. It's a little heavy with all that. We gotta. No, we're gonna have to take a couple trips. That's kind of heavy. Okay, so we'll take this and that, and then this, and that. No, hold on. I can do it. One more. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah. I took too much. Uh-oh. That's good, Ramona. Put it in the background. Put the sign in the background. Yeah, in the BG. I love the BG. Chemicals. What are chemicals? Are they things you have in a lab in a jar that say chemical on them? Well, yes. But if that's all you think chemicals are, then you need to know your chemicals. Turns out the stuff in the jar is a chemical, but the jar itself also made of chemicals. The table I'm putting it on, made of chemicals. My lunch, chemicals. Roller skate, chemicals. My jacket, chemicals. This guitar, chemicals. My shoe, chemicals. This watch, chemicals. This fish, chemicals. Chemicals. Me, chemicals. You, chemicals. Ramona, chemicals. No, I said your chemicals. Never mind. This is it. The periodic table of the elements. All matter in the universe is made up of these pure elements. They go together in different ways to make up everything. All matter. Think of it like building blocks. These little atoms are some of the elements on this periodic table. You got 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, bam, you got a water molecule. 1 carbon, 2 oxygen, hey, it's carbon dioxide. 2 carbon, 2 oxygen, 4 hydrogen, skadoosh, vinegar. 1 sodium, 1 chlorine, hey, that's salt. All matter in the universe is just the stuff on here combining into these. And now, you know your chemicals. Sugar.
Let's take a closer look at what's going on when we mix vinegar and baking soda. All chemicals are made of atoms. There's only 4 types in our reaction: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and sodium. When they go together like this is a molecule of vinegar, or acetic acid. And this is a molecule of baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate. When chemicals react, they switch atoms. That one goes there, this one goes over here, and then this one turns into this, and then what you end up with are new molecules. This one is called sodium acetate, and this one is carbon dioxide gas, the gas you breathe out. And do you recognize this one? Right, water, H2O. Why all this happens gets complicated, but the study of chemistry is all about how molecules are built and react with other molecules.
All right, Talina, you ready?
Yep.
You're gonna pour all your baking soda in the fish tank, and I'm gonna pour the vinegar into this bucket, because you don't wanna pour them together right away. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it. When you're doing your PhD in chemistry, do you get to do stuff like this?
Yeah.
Really?
Got to do a lot of fun reactions in the lab.
Oh, I'm jealous. Have you ever done this much vinegar and baking soda in one time?
I can't say I ever have.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. I already put the soap in the bucket so it would mix with the vinegar when I poured it in. Are you done your baking soda already?
I am.
I'll pour faster. Oh, faster.
It smells vinegary.
It smells vinegar. It makes me want French fries. Okay, Talina, you take this very full bucket of vinegar and dish soap.
Thank you.
I will take this one. Uh-oh, we still have our third bucket. Okay, I'll do these both at the same time. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! 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 Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So the one thing it didn't do, it didn't shoot up in the air though.
Yeah, it's because the top is quite open, so you would need to constrict it to get it to shoot up.
Oh, yeah, because we're using just sort of a square, a rectangular prism container. We should get something that's maybe something more like our vinegar bottle, right? Because there's lots of space down here, but then it forces it into a tighter opening at the top there, like a volcano.
Yep.
And what else can we do to make it even more powerful, to max it out?
Vinegar is only 5% acid, the rest is water, so you could try using 100%.
So what kind of acid is vinegar?
It's acetic acid.
So vinegar is actually only 5% acetic acid and 95% water. So you can get 100% acetic acid?
Yeah.
Can you get 100% acetic acid?
Yes.
Awesome. Why don't we get a container that's sort of shaped like a funnel, like a volcano,
Yeah.
and 100% acetic acid, and we'll do it again.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Our vinegar and baking soda reaction went pretty well, but now we're gonna try it with a much stronger type of the same kind of acid you find in vinegar.
Carefully putting this down. And watch out for the baking soda. You never know when it'll get out. And, well, I guess that's just baking soda, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty safe.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is baking soda vinegar volcano version 2. We have this differently shaped glass. What do you call this again?
That's an Erlenmeyer flask.
Why is it called that?
It's actually named after a scientist.
Did he look like that? Was he sort of shaped like this?
No.
No? Was he just a good chemist?
Good scientist, and I think he designed the glass.
Oh, see, there you go. So if you want to have a glass named after you, be a good chemist and design a glass. I want to make a fill beaker. So this is 100% acetic acid.
Yep.
And what's the difference between this and vinegar?
Vinegar has 5% of this and 95% water. But this is 100%, so it's much stronger.
Much stronger. Can you put this on your French fries?
No, I wouldn't be putting it on your French fries.
No? As chemicals go, how dangerous is this?
It's not too dangerous, but you definitely don't want to be breathing it in, and you don't want to be eating it.
Or getting it on your skin. That's why I'm wearing these fancy pantsy gloves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour the acetic acid in this. What's this called?
That is a graduated cylinder.
Because it finished school. So it graduated. Now you're gonna mix water and food coloring and soap all together.
Yep.
And pour it into there?
It'll help dissolve some of the baking soda, so hopefully it'll react better with the acid.
Sounds good. Face protection.
Oh.
All right, that's good. And now, when we do it, I want to add the funnel at the end to like accentuate the concentration of, but I don't know if it's gonna go so fast that I won't be able to get it in there, but we'll try it.
Try it.
Vinegar baking soda volcano version 2.
Good thing you got the mask.
It smells a lot like vinegar. It's really strong.
Oh.
That was pretty good. But what can we do to make it even bigger?
Well, you could try using a different chemical reaction.
Ooh, okay. Like what?
The decomposition of hydrogen peroxide produces oxygen gas, and so that one's pretty vigorous if you use a catalyst.
So we want something that makes a lot of gas so that it makes a lot of bubbles when you put the soap in it.
Yep.
Great, let's do it. And the sooner we leave that smell, the better, I think, for my taste. Today we're combining 2 different chemicals to create a reaction. sometimes chemicals can combine in a way that makes them very different from how they started out. For example, this is sodium, or Na on the periodic table. Now, the sodium tablets are in mineral oil because sodium reacts very strongly with water, even the water in the air, or especially the water in my skin. Watch what happens when I drop a sodium tablet into this beaker of water. Very cool and very dangerous.
And this is chlorine, or Cl on the periodic table. Chlorine gas is very poisonous. So,
So, what happens if we combine these two deadly substances? Do we create some sort of super poison? Something more deadly than anything else known to science that causes fear and chaos in chemistry labs all over the land? No, we create salt. Good old normal table salt. These two substances combine to make NaCl, salt. Something completely and totally safe. Chemistry.
We've gone from vinegar and baking soda to 100% acetic acid in baking soda, and now we're doing the
Vinegar and baking soda volcano version 3. No longer vinegar and baking soda.
Nope.
What are we using this time?
So here we have some hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, that's the stuff you use at home to put on a cut, right?
Yeah, but the stuff at home is only 3%. This one's 30.
So much, much stronger.
Much.
10 times stronger.
Yes.
And is this more dangerous?
It's definitely corrosive, so wear your gloves.
Corrosive means it could eat your skin.
It can burn your skin a little
Which
bit.
is why we're wearing gloves and blast shield. What's gonna mix with this?
So here we have some potassium iodide, which is a salt, and it's mixed in with some water.
The most important part of this reaction is the fact that it creates gas.
Oxygen
which
gas?
makes bubbles when you put in dish soap, right?
Yep.
So one big squirt of dish soap like that. Mix it up. Now we go over to the blast zone.
That's plenty.
All right. Now that's a reaction. Looks like there's steam coming off here. Why is that happening?
Well, it is an exothermic reaction, so heat is being generated as the reaction proceeds.
Oh, cool. Can we lift our visors now?
Yep.
Awesome. And what's being released? What's the gas that's coming off here?
So it's oxygen gas that's being produced.
Oxygen. What we want to do is make this even bigger, but first, can we do it again?
Sure.
Because I have an idea. Hold on. I think we should repurpose our old volcano. What do you think?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so if we put it over here. All right, volcano version 3.5. Hydrogen peroxide, potassium iodide. Right, here we go. Whoa!
Looks like lava.
Whoa! Look at that. Now that is a big volcano eruption.
Just covered the town.
That is completely, yes. That town is gonna be very clean because it's all soap bubbles. It's the cleanest volcano this side of Science Maxville. So I still think we can do this bigger, though, right?
I agree.
Oh, I know. What if we use some sort of a tube, like maybe one of these, right? And then we attach it to like an air compressor.
I think you'd get some height.
Yeah, and we go outside.
The atom in 60 seconds.
The atom is the smallest unit in a chemical element. Atoms are made of 3 parts. Part number 1 are these guys, protons. They have a positive charge. The number of protons determines the element. 1 is hydrogen, 2 is helium, 3 is lithium, and so on. The protons sit in the middle here, which is called the nucleus. They sit in here with part number 2, these guys. They're neutrons and they have a neutral charge. Now I've got 8 protons and 8 neutrons in this nucleus, making this an atom of oxygen.
Orbiting around the nucleus are these tiny guys. They're electrons and they have a negative charge. I will demonstrate using kittens.
Kittens are perfect because just like electrons, kittens are really small. And just like electrons, kittens move around randomly. You never know where they're going to be, but an oxygen atom should have 8 kittens, or electrons, somewhere inside. These kittens are constantly escaping, but guess what? That happens with electrons too.
There you go, the atom, a nucleus of protons and neutrons surrounded by randomly moving electrons. Cutest science ever. How do you guys feel? Did you learn something? Huh? Pause up, who learned something?
Talina and I have made a bunch of chemical reactions, but in our quest to max things out, we've got a new plan. Hydrogen peroxide and potassium iodide create gas. One way to max out the reaction is to contain the gas in something like a tube. We're gonna put the hydrogen peroxide in the tube first. Then we're gonna put in the potassium iodide in the top through a one-way valve. Then we're gonna pressurize the container. When it finally reacts, it will shoot up through the valve and we'll see how high we can get our stream of bubbles to go. But be warned, capping anything and not letting it escape is never a good idea. So we've got a release valve to make sure things work out. This is one of those experiments that's definitely on the list of don't try this at home.
Vinegar baking soda volcano version 4, hydrogen peroxide, potassium iodide. And what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna put it in this tube. Hydrogen peroxide goes in here. And we've got, Talina, do you have the potassium iodide in syringes?
Yeah, 2 syringes full.
2 syringes full. About there is good. And then soap. Good amount of soap in there. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this off and tighten it up. And then we're gonna pressurize the whole system. And then we're gonna add the potassium iodide. And it's going to be spectacular, we hope. Okay, that's on tight. This is all good. Putting this down here. And potassium iodide goes in here.
Ready?
Puts down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And we back away slowly. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's check it out. Woo! All right, there you go. Vinegar and baking soda volcano maxed out. Thank you, Talina. That was great. If you guys want any instructions for the stuff that we've done today, they're all on the website. And thank you very much for watching Science Max Experiments at Large. We kind of need to clean up a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
We have out here, we have the other room. So tell you what, you get a mop, I will get the hose and a wheelbarrow for the sub.